Hello and welcome back to the third in this three-part video series, Successful Show Jumping, with me, Tim Stockdale. Today I'm going to be talking about training and competition at a more advanced level, trying to give you helpful tips on successful show jumping. Before we start any show jumping, we've got to warm up. What most people do is they just trot the horse round, basically trying to get the horse to blow. That's actually incorrect. What you should be trying to do is go through your little repertoire of skills, making sure the horse is relaxing but also working. A little bit like a tennis player. Before he plays a match, will play different sort of shots just to make sure that he can play his forehand and his backhand as well as his serve and his lob. When we're working our horses, we're checking through that the horse is relaxed, but also he's able to extend, compress, relax and soften, going through the turns, the flying changes. When we warm up for a competition, we want to test the horses, go deep, a little close to the fence, move up the pace. Again, the sort of skills that you're going to need in the ring. So don't just trot round willy-nilly. Actually think what you're going to do, and think what the horse is doing underneath you. I'm going to do a little warming up session before I start now. I'm just going to give you a little commentary of what's going through my mind. First thing we do is relax the mare, or relax the horse in the walk. Just get it, again, it's just a soften and a little flexion either side. Oh, just again to make sure that she's not tightening against our hand. Allowing the head and neck here to be soft and flexible. Not trying to ask too much at this stage, just getting her to relax her lower jaw and to bend gently round our hands. Again, the contact should always be elastic so as to go with the horse. The trot to start with, a very simple trot, rising to start with. Again, the rising trot keeps the horse's back nice and soft and loose. Not asking for too much shape or outline at this stage, just again, little flexion in the contact, just to make sure the horse isn't leaning on our hands. Through the turn, making sure that she's bending around our leg correctly. Little serpentine and changing the diagonal. At all times in your work, work equally, left and right. It's getting a little agitated there. A raindrop actually fell in her ear. There we go. Again, a little bending, making sure that she's bending around our leg in the conventional manner. Again, you'll notice by my hand position that it's a little higher, but following the contours of the rein directly into the horse's mouth and bit. So again, to be able to give and to take, as we discussed in videos 1 and 2. Now I'm going to do a little bit of sitting trot. But here, I'm just going to be asking the horse for a little more outline and a little more bend. A little more bend through the turns, asking her to move away gently from my leg. Again, you'll notice the contact is even throughout both hands. A little bit the other way as well. Just gently asking her to flex through the front, head and neck, but not lean on my hands. A good tip to find this out, if your horse is leaning on your hand, is to gently just give the rein and see what reaction you get. There, she just extends her head down. She didn't get faster. She just extended the head down. Therefore, she's balancing herself correctly and not using my hands to lean on. Too many riders support their horse too strongly in their hand, and as a result of which, the horse becomes rigid and uses the hand as almost a fifth leg to balance on. Little bit of moving away from the leg, just a little leg yield, and then go straight. And again, I'll do that the other way. Little bit of leg yield, and then go straight. Again, to make sure she's nice and responsive from my aids. Well, good girl. Okay, what I then do, just to make sure she is listening to me, is I'm going to be asking her to go directly from a transition of walk to canter, missing out the trot. This will help her engagement behind, but like I said, it will also check that she's listening to me. That was a nice solid strike off, and again she's gone into a very soft and supple canter. I'm going to go large, and again keeping the contact, flexing gently left to right. My body living with the canter, not working against it. Allowing the canter to develop the cog, the rhythm. As I explained on video 1 and 2, the cog or the rhythm is the key to our work. And here you'll see my horse is keeping a nice rhythm throughout, very balanced, without me having to work too hard at maintaining the canter. I'm now going to put in a tighter turn, the sort of thing that you might need in the ring. Just to check that she's bending around my leg, but again, she's keeping engaged and balanced through her turn. A little flying change. Across the centre, nice and balanced. And again, a nice turn on the other rein. You'll notice again as I'm coming towards camera, how I gently just ask for a little flexion, both left and right, to make sure that she's not leaning on my hands. We'll try a sharper turn on the left rein now, again, just to see whether she's being balanced and holding herself through the turns without having to be supported too much by me as the rider. The rein's slightly upsetting her, but I'm going to keep working her because if we were in competition and it started to rain, we wouldn't be able to stop. We'd have to carry on. So she's got to learn that these conditions, they're not perfect or ideal. She still has to concentrate. Rather like an athlete running a race in the Olympics or the World Championships. If it starts to rain, they've still got to be able to focus. So it's a good idea to keep working your horses, even if the weather isn't perfect. I'm now going to ask her to extend and open the canter, go through the gears. So I'm going to, little leg pressure, still keeping the contact, ask her to open the stride pattern. Now, by using a little bit of body movement, just to bring my body back slightly and a little closer in my hand, I hope to concertina the canter and close the canter down. Go bigger. And a little closure. So again, just gently going through the gears that I might need when I'm jumping my rounds. Little flying change there. Again, trying to keep my body balanced with the horse through the change. Again, going through the gears, a little extension in the canter. I'm bringing my body slightly up off the vertical, a little closure in my hand, asking the horse to shorten. One more, little closure with my leg, open the canter out, bring my body back off the vertical, gentle contact in the hand, and close the canter down. Whoa. Good girl. You'll notice there that when I started my instructions to move up, or indeed to come back down, that it was all very gentle and subtle. That's when your horse is listening to you. If you're having to tell him 3 or 4 times the instruction, the chances are that he's got his mind on other things. Practice that. When you ask your horse to do something like extend, if he doesn't listen to you first time, make sure the instruction is given more firmly so that he can't, as it were, cock a deaf one. In other words, not listen to you. It's really important that your horse is responsive. And by doing so, then you'll have the confidence to be able to ride the round because you know your horse is working with you. That was a simple little program there just to show you the type of thing that I always do with my horses before we start jumping them. The horse has to be not only warmed up in his body, but his mind must be ready to accept the work we're going to do. If that doesn't happen, that will not lead to successful training.